sun in the morning. Oof, hey, I gotta flex. I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, oof, I told them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't run at my pace. Yeah, they know that we ain't the same. 402, we rap the game. I told them this ain't a game.
Yo, what is up? It is Finn's Take with CB83. Hey, coming back to you with another video. Hey, I'm breaking down some Mike McDaniel's offense, man. Looking at what he has going on, manipulating the box. Can the Dolphins offense be top 10 this year? Like, can they? After having such an abysmal year last year on offense, let's take a look and see why I think the Dolphins offense will be so successful this year. And it has a lot to do with the system and the scheme. I know people want to talk about players and how good they are and talent. Yeah, talent for sure. You need talent to win in the NFL. But good coaching does go a long way. And I want to just kind of explain to you guys what I'm seeing from Mike McDaniel so far from his play calling on offense. And we're going to dive right into it. I'm just going to take care of a couple of housekeeping things. First, like, share, subscribe. I appreciate everybody thus far. I just cracked the 300 subscriber mark. Please share with friends and family. Anybody who hates the Dolphins or loves the Dolphins, you can come here and check out some great content, man. So I appreciate everybody so far. We've really been growing just organically, brick by brick. Slowly but surely, it's gonna happen, man. And I'm just appreciating all the support I received in the community so far. And I love doing videos like this where I get a chance to just kind of look at something I saw on film and show it to you, the people, and show you why I think the Dolphins have an opportunity to be, really good this year with some of the talent that we added, along with some of the talent we added in the coaching room as well. So let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm going to keep this short. I don't want to have a long video. We're going to get into breaking this down. And the first thing we're going to look at is, I want to put it right here so we can see, right? So the first thing I want to look at is this play. This is actually the second series of the Week 3 preseason game versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Just providing context, I understand these are not the ones on defense. I understand that this is preseason. I understand that, there's some guys not playing for the Dolphins as well. Like Alec Ingold isn't in at fullback. Teron Armstead isn't in that tackle, I don't think. So there's a lot to take into consideration in regards to context, in regards to the game as well. What I'm looking at from a film's perspective is just trying to figure out, hey, what are we doing schematically in order to keep the defense off balance, or trying to find a way to manipulate the box and, just kind of put us in a better situation inside the box, especially when running the ball and throwing the ball as well, because they kind of tie in together. So just to provide you guys with a little more context, I coached for a while in high school. I also played in high school and college as well. So I have a good understanding of, what the game entails. I want to kind of point things out to you I see that you may not see or that you have saw. That'll kind of help you, identify things in the future as well. And what I realize is from watching the games, I'm a fan also, so I'm going to watch the game. But I don't have an understanding of how guys play or, how they did in the game, especially offensive line, trench play, defensive line, until you go back and watch the film. So I do a lot of watching the film, watching games, watching what guys are doing, how they're playing, grading guys offensively and defensively. And this is what I'm going to do on the channel. So, I wanted to kind of give you guys some information here. Let me take this off because it looks like you could barely see me. I'm going to take this overlay off real quick, hide that. All right, cool. So this is the play, the first play we're going to break down. This is the Raheem Mostert. I think it's like a 20, 30-yard run, right? So what I see in here is I see you have 2 wide receivers here, and they're in tight, and that's what I like a lot about Mike McDaniels. He uses his receivers in tight. I think this is so he could have those guys using the entire field. When you line up wide receivers to the outside and you put them down here outside the numbers, um, the cornerbacks they use the sideline as another defender. So that's what cornerback coaches and DB coaches are telling their cornerbacks is, hey, you have the sideline, use the sideline as defender. When the receivers are in tight like this, it's just very hard for them to do that. So it makes them have to play more of the field, and when you have to cover more of the field, you have to do more. It puts you in a bind. So receivers are in tight. You also have a tight end down here at the bottom, right here. This is a tight end. You have 5 down linemen, a fullback, and a running back as well. So personnel wise, you're looking at what is this? 12 personnel. So you have 1 tight end, and is it 12 personnel? Yeah, I think it's 12 personnel. No, not 12 personnel. 21 personnel. So 2 backs, 1 tight end here. All right, so you got that. So what you're doing is here you're just counting. So we have a receiver down here, and that's the thing. We don't know whether these receivers are going to be blocking or whether they're going to be running on routes, right? And the cornerbacks, they're back here, 10 yards off, 8 yards, 7, 8 yards off. Safety's back here, 3 linebackers in the box. So you have here 5 down guys on the line of scrimmage, 3 backers here. You really have 8 guys in the box. That's what we would consider 8 in the box. Now, Miami has a tight end, 5 down linemen. That's 6, 7, 8, 8 guys in the box as well. But one of these receivers is going to turn into a blocker. And this is what I talk about when I mean manipulating the box, because as you're going to see as we run this play, right? So moving back just a little bit, here we go. So this is almost like an inside zone handoff. So this is a inside zone handoff, and I'm going to slow it down for you. So inside zone handoff, everybody looks like they're going to the left, right? So everybody's going left. The fullback is going to act like he's going left also, right? So fullback is going to act like he's going left, and then he's just going to attack this end man on the line of scrimmage, this is the stand-up guy. So this is what he's going to do. He's going to move like he's going forward, stop there, and then come back across the formation, take out this guy, number 75 here, and get that, and that creates that hole there, right? So if we rewind it back, that's what the fullback's doing. So that's the first guy. Now, when we look at the offensive line, everybody's stepping left, blocking the guy in their window, right? This is zone blocking scheme, so they're not blocking a man. They're really blocking an area, right? So they're blocking an area. Everybody's kind of low hat, moving to the left, making sure they get their gap blocked. All right. Anything comes in their window, they want to make sure they get in the window and lock that up. Right. So you have everybody going that way. Now, what you see here from the wide receiver is, and this is interesting, the wide receiver is going to turn into another guy in the box. So that's going to turn into the 9th guy in the box, as opposed to the Eagles only have 8 in the box. So the Eagles have these 5 down linemen here. They have these 3 linebackers here. And we have 5 here, along with the tight end, the receiver, the fullback, and the running back. Okay, and you also have Tua back here as well. So what we're doing is he's basically manipulating the box and saying, hey, I'm going to add another blocker in the box. Now, when it comes to offense and defense, it's really broken down kind of simply. When it comes to running the football, you want to have more guys than they have in the box. Okay, it's simple math, addition and subtraction. If you got 8 on 8, you can work with that. If you got 9 versus 8, you have 9 and they have 8. Oh man, you're in better shape. you're in much better shape, right? So now we have 9 guys who could be active blockers or who can be active in the box, and they have 8, right? Their 9th guy is somewhere out here, one of these cornerbacks. So one of these cornerbacks is going to have to turn into a guy who makes a play, right? And that's what you want to do as an offensive coordinator, is put guys who are not used to being in certain situations in those situations. So you want to make guys, if they're cornerbacks and they're finesse guys and they're used to covering, hey, you want to turn them into guys that need to get downhill and that need to make a play. And that's what Mike McDaniels is doing here. He's turning these cornerbacks into guys that have to make a play. And when you put a running back on a cornerback one-on-one, it's a mismatch. Okay. Running backs and cornerbacks shouldn't be, that's why they don't cover each other. It's typically linebackers and running backs. It's usually cornerbacks and wide receivers. That's just the nature of the game. Those are skill guys. Cornerbacks are skill guys. Running backs are skill guys as well, but they're bigger skill guys. All right. We call big skill guys like tight ends, linebackers, running backs. Those are big skill guys. So when you put this cornerback here in this bind, he has to come down and make a play because he knows that he's that last man in the box. So it puts him in a bind. Everybody, you got the 8 there. You take a receiver and you put the receiver in the box, turn him into a blocker as well. You get assistance from him in the box. He pins that last linebacker there, pins the last linebacker. Now 37 is like, I got to get downhill right away. I got to be able to make a play on this guy. I'm the last line of defense, right? He also has a safety back there. So he's not the last line, but he's part of that last line of defense that can make a play on this guy. So as you can see, Mike McDaniels is really just manipulating the box and saying, hey, you guys got 8 in the box. I'm going to get an extra guy in with my receiver, pin a guy. And that's why it's also important for the receivers to be good blockers. Tyreekhill, Waddle, Cedric Wilson Jr. It's important for those guys to be good blockers because they're going to be asked to do things like this, get into the box, block a linebacker. It really puts defenses in a bad position, right? So that's going to be very important. So he gets him into the box, he pins him, and he doesn't get a great block. The receiver doesn't get a great block, right? He gets just enough. Get a little hand on him to turn him into a runner, and then these guys kind of force him out of bounds down here at the 45-yard line. So, this play starts on the 40, it gets to the other 40, right? And it just puts these secondary guys in a very, very tough position, right? So that's what you see on this play. You see Mike McDaniels really just understanding the concept of making these guys be players in the box, making them get downhill, making them make plays. And that's what you're going to see a lot of. And that's why I think the Dolphins can be successful, because Mike McDaniels is really going to do a good job of forcing the defense to make plays when they're uncomfortable, keeping them off balance, right? So this is the next play here, right? We just saw a similar formation, right? Now you add another receiver in the game, right? You take out the fullback, you have 2 in shotgun, right? So you add another receiver in, a receiver up here, a receiver down here. Receivers are still in tight. And this is what I do like about Mike McDaniel's offense. His receivers are not going to play way outside. It gives our guys easier throws, and it makes them use the entire field as well, right? So what you could see from this play right away, take a look at this. So the Eagles have 4 guys down on the line of scrimmage. They have 2 guys here, 2 guys here. So this is like that 4-3 look, but they're playing man-to-man on the receiver, it seems like. So this guy is going to follow. I think this is Craycraft, maybe. River Craycraft. He's going to follow this receiver over here. And you still have the 2 corners playing these 2 guys here. So the 2 corners are still playing the receivers, and then you have the safety up top. Now, what I like about this play is you'll see it. Here we go. So man goes into motion. He's going to stop in the box right here. And then he's going to go into motion around, like he's running it almost like a swing route. So there's a handoff here, right? Handoff here. They come down, make the play on the runner, right? So this is like a small 2 to 3 yard gain. But what I want you guys to see is how Mike McDaniels is manipulating the defense and forcing them to be in bad positions, right? So when this guy comes into motion, you see he kind of turns around and starts a swing route. What does his guy do? His guy stays in the box, right? They're supposed to be playing this guy man to man. It seems like he was playing a man to man. He came across the formation and then he stopped and communicated to the guys like, hey, somebody else has got to pick him up, right? That's what he communicated. Like, hey, and I'm going to go back to where he says it right here. Let's go back a little bit. So right here, he comes across the formation. He stops. He points. He's like, yo, he's going that way. You guys got to take him, right? Like he's staying here, staying where he is. Now, Tua then hands the ball off, right? Now, what I like about this play is just imagine if this is Tyreekhill or Waddle on this play. Now, the receiver here is going to kind of act like he's going down here, and then he's going to probably kind of go out there and block this guy or get this guy's attention. But what we don't recognize here is that just imagine Tua pulling this ball, right? And then throwing it to a guy out here like Waddle or Tyreek on this pass and giving him an opportunity. Look at this. He would be one-on-one with the safety here. This is a safety back here at the, 18, 17-yard line. This is Tyreek or Waddle here. You fake that there and you throw it here and you just say, hey, go beat your guy. Just imagine if it's one of those guys and he gets it to him right away. He's off to the races. And this is what Mike McDaniels is doing in manipulating the box. He's just making sure that he gets guys into the box, gets them confused. And then once that happens, he can do things like this to trick them and to keep them off balance. And you better believe that there's guys in the, and on his coaching staff, in the box watching this as well, seeing what they did on the previous play. And saying, hey, let's go out there and execute this again. Let's see if they give us the same look and play it the same way. If they do, it should be 6. Because you give Tyreek a play like this or Waddle a play like this where they're out in the flat and they have 1 or 2 defenders to beat for, 20 to 30 yards, it's going to be a problem, guys. It really is. And this is what I like about Mike McDaniel so far. He just does a really good job of mixing it up, getting creative, and forcing defenses to think, right? A defense that thinks a lot is a defense that plays slow, all right? And if they're a second or 2 slow, and we're just much faster on offense, it's going to be a problem. And that's what I see. This is a great opportunity to just kind of, and I don't think guys are really pointing this out when they watch the film. I've seen some breakdowns, but they don't really point things like this out. Because they're just thinking about the play and the results. I'm thinking about, hey, what's the next layer to this? What can we do next off of it? So play action here, you fake it, you throw it to the guy in the flat, right? Let's say you throw it to the guy in the flat or fake throw it to the guy in the flat. Or let's say you beat him. You run the play, you throw it to the guy in the flat, and you beat him for a touchdown. Tyreek takes that ball, he beats the safety, he scores a touchdown, right? If that happens, then, they're going to be looking for it the next time, right? If they're looking for it the next time, the safety's going to cheat down maybe. This guy's going to cheat over that way instead of playing this receiver, right? And then this receiver here, since they're going there looking at Tyreek or Waddle, he's going to sneak out, and it's going to be a touchdown. Tua's going to pump to Tyreek and then just throw the touchdown to the guy in the slot right here in that area, right? So there's a bunch of different layers to this that you could see. But Mike McDaniels so far has been impressive with the play calling, man. You got to love it, the way he keeps the defenses off balance. I really appreciate what I've seen so far. It's been solid, man. It's been solid. You can't really ask for much more. So, like I said, this was a short video just to kind of show you a little bit of what I'm seeing in regards to the offense and manipulating the box. I think the Dolphins have an opportunity, really good opportunity, to be top 10 with the scheme and the way Mike McDaniel calls the plays. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think about the breakdown. I appreciate the support so far. You guys have been fantastic, man. Always. I appreciate you. I love you. It's finsup. It's Fins Take with CB83. Deuces.
Came from the bottom, that's foreign. I swear that I'm up for the sun in the morning. Oof, hey, I gotta flex. I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, oof, I told him out of my way. I don't got nothing to say.